everyone's upset Danny's drinking water because he's a
Right?
Jax,
Right?
fresh a couple weeks out of rehab here, is just casually ordering a shot. Notice how Jason has no issue with that.
Oh my gosh, what is he hiding by drinking water? Are you fucking serious? Isn't that what you want? The man who you believe has a drinking problem is not drinking, especially the way that Jax Taylor likes to spin things. Damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Mm-hmm.
He's getting the Shannon Beador treatment from last year. Jax and Jason and I'll put Janet with them, are like Alexis and Tamara Barney. I keep calling her Tamara Barney instead of Tamara Judge. She's been married for almost a decade. The way that they all three of them like keep coming at him, it makes him look sympathetic.
We gonna stir it up and do things our way. So if you wanna move, get out of our way.
Hey.
Well, it is the Valley finale, y'all.
You know. God, it flew by. And it had a full season this time. Just like
full, yeah.
I mean,
15 episodes.
Yeah, 15 plus 8. It wasn't like an introductory one. Maybe that's a good sign. Like it ended. If they leave you wanting more, it means it was a good season.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. So, and they'll end with 18, I guess. Yeah, because with 3 episodes for the reunion.
Yeah.
So yeah,
another good sign. That 3-parter.
Yup, man. Ooh. Well, I mean, I think we thought the drama was going to be more like Jax and Janet related, at least to start off this episode of Pretty Corrupt Podcast, but actually it's not. The like immediate just breaking news is, drum roll,
for those who aren't chronically psychotically 24/7 online, Michelle unfollowed Aaron
and removed all the pictures of him.
Ouch.
Yeah. I didn't even know that because until you told me, and then I was like, what?
Yeah.
He's still following her though.
Mm-hmm.
And she is still on his, but I mean, yeah, she is still on his, but she has unfollowed him and removed all the pictures.
I'm trying to think of a funny one-liner centered around honey. His honey no longer brings all the girls to the yard.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, the sad thing is that, well, I don't know, sad. The ironic thing is that, they put out a little preview of next week's the first episode of the reunion. And she's like, Aaron and I have moved in together and Isabella's happy. Oh yeah.
Wow.
And the funny thing is that Jessie said when she was like, Isabella's happy. Jessie said, no, she's not. I mean, it's so, but the reunion was filmed about a month ago or so?
Yeah, roughly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So,
I mean, how convenient to wait for the reunion to wrap to break the news, which does, I mean, it does play into what Jessie has said on the show in recent episodes about how they have competing agendas here, and she needs to show Jessie that she's moved on faster, that she won. Mm-hmm. And it did feel kind of rushed. The relationship with Isabella, that to me felt like rushed.
I don't disagree with you. Plus, also, I do believe too, like when you move in with somebody, you find out all these other things about them. I am pro moving in before you get married because I think you need to find out, this shit about people. So, that's something else, is that I'm sure she was finding out stuff about who he really is. Plus also like, okay, even if they did, which I mean, you and I believe that she and Aaron were cheating, before she was done with Jessie. But even then, like, that's still not a real relationship. Mm-hmm. That's just, that's still a fantasy. It's still exciting. That's still like cheating, and that's still like dating in that sense. But so once you're actually in the relationship, that's completely different too.
Yeah.
So it's just a different animal.
They don't have that kind of like, but in a way, at least in when they were filming this season last summer, it would have been, they were kind of like Bonnie and Clyde against the world. World being, I guess, Jesse, but also the fame, the filming, maybe the spark fizzled out, especially if they started when they were cheating, because that's a thrill in itself. So
it is a thrill. It is a thrill. Also, like, it's one of those things where it's like, he's so different from Jesse. What if he's not? Like, that's the thing too, is that I'm very much that person. Like, I don't relationship hop. And because you tend to just fall into a pattern, you tend to fall for somebody that may seem the opposite of your ex, but turns out they're exactly the same.
yeah.
Like, so he could be just similar to Jesse in lots of ways. Who can say? Who knows? I mean, we were just going off of fucking Instagram.
Yeah.
Like, so
we are armchair life coaches, relationship counselors, divorce attorneys. We offer it all.
Yep. But you and I, we are I was going to say purveyors, but we don't sell human experiences. We are we are observers of the human condition through both the medium of reality television, but through other ways like our work and different things like that. Yeah. And we've seen a lot. So
yeah, we're usually right. I think we're trying not to toot our own horns here, but the instincts are usually. We clock that. Change it. We clock that, honey. Bye, Aaron.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Also, there was something that she said, and actually, I think this just takes us right into the episode. Because we start the episode with Janet, Michelle, and Brittany going over to Lala's to meet Lala's new baby, Sosa. And Michelle, you know, they're all oohing and awing over the baby, who's adorable. She's cute. She's a cute baby. But then she says, well, you know, because she's like, well, maybe I would have another baby. She's like, I was always like one and done, but Aaron wants, you know, several kids. So like maybe, and I was just like, oh no, girl, no, do not have a baby for a man to like keep a man, like do not do it. So like that could be another reason that they broke up. What if she just realized, she was like, no, I don't want another child. Yeah. Like, and I don't want to have another child where then I might like then get divorced and then have two fathers that I'm having to like fight over custody and fight with like dealing with like stuff like that. Like
that.
So yeah.
Yeah. That makes maybe she is rushing. I don't know.
I think she totally is rushing. And I agree with you. I think she totally was like, it's funny because there was this whole thing about Jesse was like, you have to show that you're winning. And she was like, what am I winning at? And I kept wondering that too. But when you're talking about her rushing, I was like, oh, well, maybe it's the winning of like moving on. It's like, I'm over you. That type of where I don't think he thought it was that way, but I think there is a bit of like that, like, I'm over you. I'm over you. I'm done. No, neither one of you is over each other. It's a divorce. Y'all were in a long-term relationship. Like that, you just don't get over that fast.
Yeah.
Like, so.
I was cracking up. I dread when Lala comes on. I'm just not into her. I'm just not.
You are not.
No,
you are not.
I don't want her on. I'm more open to Sheena. I'm not a fan of Sheena.
That's so funny.
But
because I'm more open to Lala.
I find Lala to be very one note at this point. It's this episode she was better, but it's usually that like same self-righteous anger and like everyone. True. And she's projecting all of Randall's issues on to everyone else in the room. That's what I mean,
like. Especially the last couple of seasons of VPR for sure.
Yeah, and she's like, carrying that over to a new show. That's what I mean. The lack of a fresh start. But although they were clearly teasing it with her new baby. But when Brittany is telling the girls what happened with Jax the last episode, how she said your child support will be splitting the medical bills. And he said, if you want child support, I'm going to go for alimony because you have more money than me. You make more money than me. And what Lala said Of course you make more money than him. A coke addiction is really expensive.
Yep.
That warmed. I was like, okay, maybe Lala can have some cameos next season.
Lala always has really good one-liners.
Mhm.
She really does. She's really good at the snappy one-liners. She really has it. That's one of the reasons I like Lala, because I'm like, yeah, girl, she clocks it.
When
she's
Lala's
really
at
paying
her,
attention.
when Lala's good, she's really good. It's just get her back there. That's my thinking. Instead of like having to rehash something that happened 6 seasons ago on VPR because she's still bitter.
Well, hopefully we'll see. We'll see. I mean, yeah, but you know, and it was interesting because also in this like preview of the reunion, Jax said, and I said it. Well, two things, you know, because later on towards the end of the episode, when Jax and Brittany are talking, he says basically that he's going to drag out signing, like even talking to a divorce attorney until like the last minute. But at the beginning of the reunion, during the little preview, Andy asks about their divorce, and she says that they just talked on the phone the night before, and he said that he's waiting until after this reunion to see whether or not he has a job, because if he doesn't, he is going after her for alimony. And you could see on his face that he could not believe that she said that out loud in front of Andy, because he was like, that's not exactly what I said. And she's like, are you going to do this right now? And I was like, exactly. This man, all these people who are like, oh, he's going to leave her alone as soon as he finds somebody else. Absolutely not.
Mm-hmm.
This is what psychotic people do. There's no logic. There's no reason with him. This is not like we've said, he's not a smart man,
right?
But also with like narcissist, and a lot of people are like have been saying he's a family annihilator, and that is kind of family annihilator abuse tactics of like, I will draw things out, I will make your life hell.
Is that like murder suicide? Like, is that what?
Or they take out the entire family.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like one of those.
Yeah.
Like if I can't have you. Yeah, I hadn't heard that term before. Yeah.
I mean, a lot of times a family annihilator, not all the times, but a lot of times a family annihilator, he's having an affair, and instead of just like breaking up the family and getting a divorce, he decides to kill the wife and the children.
Yeah.
In his like mind, to think that he can like go on, and it's like, oh, dude. But no. But anyway, I just think Jax is just so. He will just try to, because there's no rhyme or reason. It is just all about his ego. But when Jesse's like talking about winning, Jax is a man who has to win at all costs, no matter whatever he thinks is winning.
Yeah. Did you catch, by the way, his new thing about winning? He plants a seed in that scene at his condo where he announces he's Danny's Two-Face. That Danny is a drunk at his bar and has no right to lecture him. And what else was there? That Danny is a hypocrite and he can't preach to me about my behavior. We understand that.
Yeah.
That we expect from Jax.
Yeah.
Jason, however, who, by the way, is so lame in this scene. Let me just describe it to you.
He's so lame in this entire episode.
Yeah. When he comes up to Jax's, though, I was like, is this like a 90s sitcom? He has the t-shirt with the short sleeve button down open, carrying a 6-pack. He looks so eager, so jacked up that Jax invited him over, and he's part of the cool boy crowd. He looked like, I was like, do you think
he's the number one guy?
Yeah, I was like, he looked like, I don't know. It's like, where are you going? Like Joey and Chandler's apartment? He got invited to the boys' apartment.
Yeah.
And he's incredibly lame here, just as expected. He's defending Jax against Danny.
Okay, well, first of all, Jax comes down stairs to like meet them after they're like coming in, and he's all flustered as if he's been working hard. And I was like, oh, please. This is the same energy as like you getting out your little electric leaf blower at the old house, like and just like blowing the leaves around as if like you're the man of the house and I keep this house like spick and span and I like do all the yard work. I was like, while I'm being filmed, shut the fuck up. You put a few things away. You don't even have anything, whatever. I was like, then also he's like opening up his little beer fridge up on the thing. I was like, it's a beer fridge full of beer for a man who just got out of rehab. But of course, granted, he didn't go to rehab for alcohol and drugs. It was for his anger issues. That's always the thing. That's his way of deflecting off of Danny. Like to be like, oh, I didn't go to rehab for alcohol. I went for anger issues.
Yeah. So that really struck me. The way he put it is, I don't have a drinking problem. I have an anger issue that leads me to drink.
Right.
And I was like, especially it wasn't just alcohol, it was cocaine. The first step, which totally, I'm part of the group that doesn't really believe he went to wherever he was, whatever he went to. I don't believe it's rehab. That's my opinion. No, but the right there, the lack of accountability. The first thing they tell you is you have to accept that you have an issue with it. He immediately, it's right now he's blaming the anger. There won't be a next season for him, but let's say in interviews or podcasts or unhinged Instagram lives, whatever he'll take to next, it will be, I don't have a drinking problem. It's Brittany who upsets me and drives me to drink. It's just always someone else, something else. So that right there is like, he blew past the first step. The first, literally, when they talk about steps. So.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he was also like, he was drinking out of a cup while all the other guys were drinking out of like cans or bottles. And I was like, so what are you drinking out of that cup, buddy? And then he's like, oh, I would never bring a girl over here. And I was like, fuck you. Like, how many women have you already had over there? Most likely already. Like, you were like, I have a bachelor pad. Like, I have a place to go. Oh. And then when he was showing the guys around and he like shows them Cruz's room and he's like, Cruz's room is bigger than my room. Bullshit. Bull fucking shit. That Cruz's room is a nice size, but that is not a large bedroom. That is not the primary bedroom in that place. Shut the motherfucking up. But I was very interested to see that. Okay, first of all, apparently Danny has not been drinking in the last 3 weeks at the time that this was filmed. He didn't drink in Hawaii, which we kind of noticed. But that he's not there that evening, which, Luke and Jesse are pointing out, or like, where is he? But then it's pointed out that Danny has not been invited to the past few outings that I guess Jax has engineered together. And so it's like, and Luke, I guess, had like lunch with him, a filmed lunch with him. It was like, yeah, I'm not invited to this stuff. And you could definitely see, to me, it becomes more and more apparent that the rumors that Jax was like, I'm going to take out Danny and Nia, that's very obvious. And then I guess he got Jason and Janet on his side, that was the thing to happen this season. So I just think that Jason and Janet hitched their wagon to the wrong star.
Right. Because my theory with that is, well, we'll get to it later with Jax, but the idea that everyone resents Danny and Nia for being put on a pedestal as this golden couple with Jason and Janet. Okay. When the show was created, the idea was the core couple would be Jax and Brittany. They were the stars. Everyone else was background. And we know Jax. We'll get into that later. Jason and Janet, I think Jason thought he would be Danny. I think he thought. Oh. And Janet, I don't know what she thought, if she wanted to be Lisa Rinna or if she wanted to be Nia. Because one or the other, but they thought they would be the good couple. Jason's a lawyer, they're much more respectable than these dysfunctional whatever. And so I get why I see why Jason and Janet hitch their rides at the Cartwright Couchies, because they're resentful of Danny and Nia too.
Oh, that was a bad call on their part.
Yeah.
'Cause
Now they had to
that's
flee to Switzerland, and no.
flee to Switzerland. Oh gosh, that's when I just go, well, if you truly had studied the way that you should have studied before getting on, you should know that you cannot plan that shit out.
Mm-hmm.
Janet and Jason are just actually speaking of which, to go back to like the first scene when Janet says to Brittany and Michelle and Lala, she basically is like recapping how much like Kristen hates her, and then she's like, I really tried. I included her this summer. And I was like, what? Where? What? Excuse you? Like, you're lucky that you got that Danny and Nia and Chris and Luke, because Kristen didn't know, Luke invited you to Hawaii. Like, that they didn't talk to production and say, you know what, we don't want them there, because you excluded them from your baby moon last year.
Yeah.
Like, you were included in everything. Whereas like, I was like, really, Janet? Really? And then the thing about like, when Janet was like, I really wish she had punched me, because then she would like be in jail, and every time she would look at that ring, she would think of me. Brittany laughed in a way that made me go, Brittany, that's really, you're not playing neutral. This is when I go, I see how you stick up for Janet instead of sticking up for Kristen or Zack later on. Like, this is what happens. Like, you feed into the Regina George of Janet.
Yeah, watching this season, I realize Brittany's surface level is very sympathetic. She's good with that. Oh, Zack, I love you. But she's not a friend to anybody. She really is not a friend to anybody. She's
Gretchen Wieners.
Yeah. A friend to all is a friend to none. I'm not saying she's evil, like stabbing them in the back, but I'm saying she plays every side and in the end loses all. So there's no strong loyalty from her, just a lot of lip service with a sweet accent.
Yeah. I mean, that's why it's like, look, I don't necessarily like Janet, but other people are like, Janet needs to get off my TV. I was like, absolutely not. We need Janet on this television screen. Like, I need her as a foil, because also there are times I actually enjoy it when I agree with her at times. I was like, yes.
Yeah, I mean, if we're getting rid of Jax, yeah, we need Janet. We need someone evil on. We need someone evil on there.
Yeah, we need like evil light, because like Jax was evil dark, and so we need like Jesse and Janet to be evil light, like evil fun.
Yeah,
that's what we need. Like, otherwise people are gonna go, this is so boring. The show's so boring. I was like, well, you got rid of all the fun people.
Yeah. Oh, what else happened there? I'm trying to think what's fun. Some of these were like, okay, we had a quick meetup with Lally and Michelle. It was sweet in the moment. Michelle has since denied it. Michelle has said nothing has changed.
I agree. Like, it felt very manipulative to me on his part, like bringing out his crocodile tears and crying about stuff and putting it all, like doing the whole thing again about like, well, he did something with the dog at the beginning. He's like, well, because Isabella doesn't sleep here or whatever. And I just was like, it's so performative, Jesse. And I mean, I could see her not wanting to give in to him, just being like, if I give him any emotion, if I give in to him at all, he's gonna take a mile from me. So it's like this trying to keep, I mean, we talk about her being robotic and everything, and I make excuses for her. You really dislike it, that's fine. We could agree to disagree, and next season I may hate her. Who can say? We're allowed to be hypocrites and, change our minds.
I mean, I'm wondering if breaking up with Aaron had to do with trying to secure her next season spot, for it to happen that basically the week of the finale, or at least to announce it, wait till the season wraps. So there's something else going on in her life. So, because otherwise
we'll
she's
see.
kind of like a background character.
I mean, look, last year her mother was sick and dying of cancer.
Mhm.
She was going through a divorce. She was on the second season of this show. She had a new relationship. There's a lot going on. I don't think, and I've always said, much to your chagrin, that when a housewife has like a family member die, like when Lisa Rinna's mother died, when Lisa Vanderpump's brother died, like I think they should have taken a year off the show. Maybe they wouldn't have such horrible years, or maybe they wouldn't have left if because of that. Like I think you need bereavement. It's a little different.
I was gonna say my argument's always been Bravo won't guarantee that bereavement. Like the show could change pace. In an ideal world, it would be nice, but you're risking your job.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. It is, but it is something that maybe you should ask for. And I think it is something that I feel like Andy said something in the last year, and I was like, see, Andy, see. But anyway, but like, you know, her needing to be in a relationship with Aaron could have also been a thing of like, I'm getting a divorce. I'm getting rid of this like bad husband now, but also I'm losing my mother. I need somebody. Yeah. And so now that her mother's gone, like maybe she's like, oh yeah, this guy isn't as great. I don't need him. Or maybe she's like, who can say? Because grief is weird and is terrible. And her mother's only been gone, not even like, a full year.
Yeah.
So anyway, again, I'm making excuses for Michelle. I know, that's fine. I know where I stand right now, but anyway, but I do enjoy them kind of fighting.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah. Like I don't need to see them. I don't really care about their co-parenting or anything like that. Honestly, I enjoyed great. Now they put dark into the Bravo lexicon. I was gonna be like, I like Jesse Darko. He's fun.
Well,
no, so I don't want it to be all. What I'm saying is, I don't want it to be peaceful. I need him to be feisty. He's good. He's good. He's good comedic relief.
Like, since we can't have one set of divorced, one divorced couple on the show, I'd like, which is Jax and Brittany, which fine. I'm obviously, because I don't want Jax on my television anymore. I want Jesse and Michelle to work out as a divorced couple on the show, which means they don't need to be happy-go-lucky, but I want to be able to see like how are they navigating.
Oh, you want to be able to see how it's going. Yes. Yeah.
That's what I want.
Yeah, no.
So I want to be able to see the fights, and I want to see be able like to get, how do they fight? How do they get along? Where are these things? Because there was like a nice moment during the Zen Party. You know what I mean? Like they have some nicer moments. And they both also have bad moments which they both can ruin. You know what I mean? Yeah. They both do the damage too. So yeah. But I feel it's more on his side. But that's just me. Anyway.
What else is there? I mean, there's Brittany and Kristen. And we said last week, we know Kristen had her baby. Yeah. So which we're happy for. But this scene was about a sad moment.
Yeah. Where
Brittany's comforting her because she got basically, what was it, a text, an email saying, hey, you're infertile. Hit the CBS.
Yeah. But then she, and I was thinking that in my head, I was like, well, it's really a medical term. It's like being called a geriatric pregnancy is when you're pregnant over the age of 35, you're geriatric. So it's like if you haven't been able to get pregnant within a 12-year span, you're technically infertile. Like, and brain fart. Kristen, explains that, because I was like, yeah, but I get the whole point of like that really can send you down a spiral.
Yeah,
if you're like not expecting it and everything, and it just sucked for her. But I think this would mean more. Sounds really bad that it would mean more if she hadn't gotten pregnant. But it would feel different to watch it now if she hadn't gotten pregnant, if she didn't have Kaia now. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
That's why I was kind of like, whatever. Not only because we know it worked out well for her beyond her wildest. So that was this is a moment too, though, where I would say Brittany was very support. I would say here is where that's why I said she's not evil. I just don't think and also
No.
she has so much going on in her life herself.
Yeah.
She can't extend herself to everyone emotionally.
Mm-mm.
But here she was. This was like old Kentucky Brittany.
I feel like in my opinion, Kristen knows when she needs Brittany and tries to only like come to the Brittany at those times of need.
Yeah.
At least like from what we're seeing on the show. I don't feel like she's asking too much from Brittany. I do feel like Zack is, and I love Zack. You know I love Zack. I do feel like he's been asking a little too much of Brittany at some times, but also we still don't know behind the scenes necessarily. And he's tried to explain like in the after show and things like that. But yeah, we'll see.
That heated up really quickly.
Yeah, that's one of those times where like he got Zachy Darko. Like he got it anyway, the alcohol. But actually, speaking of Zack and Benji did something that you and I love to do on our own. We pre-look at menus before we go to a place. We pick out. I love how they're like, I can't believe we're looking at a menu because we already know what we're going to get when they go out to dinner.
I don't go into restaurants without knowing what I'm going to order. I will fall asleep reading menus of restaurants I'll probably never visit. Doesn't matter what cities. If you tell me you ate somewhere, I'm going to research. It's very soothing to me.
Absolutely. Yep. I went out last week with my friends. I already knew what I was going to get. And then of course I was like, after I ordered the pasta, I was like, is that good? He was like, it's my favorite. I was like, of course I ordered the favorite. Of course I did. Wasn't that good? I didn't realize that Benji's divorce. I mean, obviously it was like happening at that time, but it was kind of sad because it sounded like not that he at that moment was still in love with his ex. Obviously he had like some love for his ex, but that when his ex asked for a divorce, he was in love. He was surprised. He was in love with his ex. Like for some reason, I just thought that this was like a mutual thing with his ex, that they were like, oh, this isn't working. Let's get divorced. But I was like, oh, that's really kind of sad for Benji that like he was kind of blindsided by this divorce that his ex was asking for. And I was like, oh.
Yeah. And now what does that make him? If he's I'm like trying to figure, because I'm like, now he's caught up in a whirlwind. He's this guy from Canada who just got hit with a divorce. Now he's down in LA filming a nationwide phenomenon of a reality show. I'm like, is he Aaron or is he Michelle or is he not? I just mean that's a lot to. Are they I was trying to track. Are Benji and Zack talking about marriage or just settling?
Well, Zack seems to be talking about marriage, but I want to go, Zack, you need to hold on, because just like Michelle and Aaron, I'm like, this guy's just getting divorced. This is his first relationship, it seems like, outside of like his marriage. Like this is you're a rebound until like you find out anything. Like it's nice. I think he's really sweet. I think they're cute together and everything like that. Hopefully, I think they're still together, so it's a year later now. So like hopefully, like yeah, but like at that time I'd be like, I would just, if I was his friend, I would have just been like, check yourself. And I'm sure there are probably some of his friends being like, are you sure?
Yeah,
look, I've dated the divorced guys who swore they were over shit and they were not over shit.
Yeah.
Like, God damn it.
I mean, especially with the way Benji kind of hinted, he's still kind of in love-ish with the ex. Did you catch? I was really excited for the waiter who was serving them, taking their drink order, because it made me think he had banter with them. He was trying some one-liners like, "Oh, your drink orders, you're perfect for each other." And I was like, first of all, when you're in a bar, restaurant in LA or wherever they have a Bravo show, and you find out they're coming to film, is there a fight amongst the staff over who gets to be the server on camera? And that guy, was a fan. He got his 0.45 seconds of camera time. I was happy for him. I'm not making fun of him. I was just doing the
No.
whole process. I was like, do you think he was like up all night the night before rehearsing? Like, this was his moment.
You know what? Hopefully I bet you he is a student of either Second City or Upright Citizens Brigade. So he had some improv. He was like, I'm going to go in there. I'm kind of already ready. I'm going to I'm going to like do it right. He kind of reminded me though of the waiter that Dorit and PK had at their dinner last season, who was amazing. I love that waiter. I was like, oh, you're fabulous. You're a great waiter. Whoever you were. I forget even what restaurant that was, but I was like, this is great. Oh, it's a restaurant near Craig's on Melrose. Anyway.
I remember though, he was, no, this was
great.
his moment. That's what I mean. This wasn't, sometimes you get waiters, like especially on cast trips where you can tell they're like, I don't know who these freaks are, what these cameras are about. This guy and the one for PK and Dorit, they were like, this is my moment. I've been waiting. And especially for Zack and Benji's, because this is a show built off of restaurant employees and servers. This was his moment. So I don't know who he is. He can reach out. I just thought I was happy for him.
Did I ever tell you how many times, like as a server and bartender, I have seen or waited on members of Vanderpump Rules?
No.
Oh yeah, twice it's been Stassi at two different places I worked at. In fact, and one of the places at the Den, Stassi was with Bo, and I think they had just begun dating at that time. Okay. And then when I worked and the first time was also at South Beverly Grill, and then when I was working at St. Felix Hollywood, when the Dream Hotel and Beauty in Essex was opening up, they had a big party, and before that opened, like basically people came to pre-party at our place, and it was like Jax and both of the Toms, and I'm pretty sure Kristen was there too.
You've been in the presence of our Mariposa withholding it.
Yeah. But yeah, so it's just funny because then I was like, but that's the second time I've been in the presence of our Mariposa, because the first time was actually right after the first season of VPR aired. I went to West Hollywood with my friends, and my friend Ian was like, I know the best place to park, and we were carpooling, so I was riding with him, and he pulls up into the parking lot behind Sir. They used to have like metered parking back there. It's changed now in the last 11 years, but oh my gosh. And so we parked there, and Kristen was back there smoking a cigarette.
That is like visiting the Vatican and meeting the Pope. I know. The back alley of Sir with Kristen having a cig. Did she flip you off? Did she wave and tell you to go?
Ian asked her, like, he's like, are we allowed to park back here? And she was like, yeah. She was like, just pay. It was something like, yeah, like just pay the meter. I was like, that's Kristen.
Wow.
I was like surprised. She was very nice, and she did not flip us off, but that's what everybody said, that she was like the best waitress at Sir. Like she was very good she was like one of the few competent waitresses at Sir, or servers at Sir. And like, she made the most money and everything like that, and people really liked her. So anyway, we should get to Yamashiro's.
Yeah. The Zen Party. The Zen Party, which, first of all, as Bravo lifelong, whatever, Bravo long, we've been on the journey. First of all, it's a finale party. You're calling it a Zen party. We just know there will be no Zen. There will be no peace. No. The producers at this point are having fun with it. Every time they bring up the Zen party, they cut to this groovy Zen. They know.
Yep. They totally know. Yep. I just wish I had known that they were filming there. I would have walked over. Like, man. Like, and Yamashiro's it's a cool spot. It really is a cool spot. It's like this big Japanese like pagoda style restaurant up on the top of this hill in the Hollywood Hills and overlooks a lot, and it really does have that stunning view of Hollywood.
I felt bad because we do know now that Michelle's mom has passed, and she shows how those gardens were a family photo spot growing up. Because we'd go up there and you could kind of just walk through like you're looking for someone and go back, and we'd have flasks or joint or whatever with us, and we would lightly party out in the back where the gardens with the view, and just kind of linger and hope no one noticed that we weren't customers, and we weren't. The view's beautiful.
Yep.
Technically never eaten there, just loitered.
Yep. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That's what I wrote. I was like, oh, let's not forget, like, Jesse's crying and complaining that he's so sad and he's done so much and he's so exhausted. I was like, yet Michelle is also going through a divorce and a custody situation, and her mother's dying of cancer.
Yeah.
Like, shut up just a little bit. But anyway,
did you catch what Jax said? I put your name in my notes. Jax, when she's passing out the crystals and stuff, he calls astrology garbage. He says he doesn't fall for that blank. And I would put, Stacy, your relationship with Jax is over.
I love that you even think I had a relationship with Jax. I didn't even have a parasocial relationship with Jax, except for like my hatred of him and probably his hatred of me. Frank Drummond's hatred of me.
Yeah.
Like, let's keep it real here. Like, the first thing I wrote about Jax is sweaty.
Yeah.
I mean, he was sweaty and greasy. It was so
wide-eyed
gross.
and wide-eyed. Barely a blink.
Who that reminds me of a broke Los Angeles Californian heir who likes to call,
someone fire crotch? Wait, is that what you're talking? Yeah.
Yep, that's exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah, Greasy Bear.
Greasy Bear. Yep, we know it. And also he's like drinking, of course. I mean, look, Jax doesn't believe in anything else besides himself.
Yeah.
So the fact that he doesn't believe in crystals or astrology, I don't give a fuck. He doesn't believe in anything except for himself.
Yeah.
Actually, the only crystal he believes in is cacoane, like crystals. If he can't crush it up and snort it, he doesn't believe in it.
Oh, you know what would have been good? Once the Valley, the Bravo money drives up, the only crystals he's going to believe in is meth. As Lala said, Coke's very expensive. He's going to have to economize. Yeah. By the way, that part, do you catch how casually, notice this whole thing is about everyone's upset Danny's drinking water because he's a
right.
Jax,
right,
fresh a couple weeks out of rehab here, is just casually ordering a shot. Notice how Jason has no issue with that. No, Jason and Janet.
But Danny's drinking water. Oh my gosh, what is he hiding by drinking water? Are you fucking serious? Isn't that what you want? The man who you believe has a drinking problem is not drinking and has not been drinking. Like, this is the thing, especially the way that Jax Taylor likes to spin things. Damned if you do, damned if you don't. Mm-hmm. Like, this is why, even if Danny does have a drinking problem, I wrote this. It's like he's getting the Shannon Beador treatment from last year. And Jax and Jason are like Alexis Spolino and Tamara Barney. I keep calling her Tamara Barney instead of Tamara Judge. She's been married for almost a decade.
But that's your name is what you come on the network with. I don't accept.
This is kind of true.
Luann is still Barney, the Countess.
She is.
A couple marriages later.
But it's like, look, like maybe Danny does have an issue with alcohol or something like that. Maybe he does, but the way that these two keep coming at him, and I'll put Janet with it, because Janet and Jason are like Alexis and John Jansen.
Mhm.
Like the way that they all three of them like keep coming at him, it makes him look sympathetic, because he's trying to do better. Like in the way that they just don't let up, or like if he tries to do something, well, that's not good enough, or well, what are you hiding now? And it's like, oh my God. Like,
yeah, it's like, but I forget the term. It's not gaslighting, but maybe it is gaslighting, but there's another term from abusers for it. I don't remember it, but it'll be like, no, I'm good now. And they're like, you're only pretending to be good.
yeah.
I forget there was a term from college, but it creeped me out, and I would have like started swinging at all of them.
Yeah.
I would have been, but yeah. No one had an issue with Jax 3 weeks out, whatever this is at this point. Casually ordering a show. Oh, and that thing he did. I know plenty of alcoholics and screwed up people. And when they're like, oh, want something to drink? He's like, yeah, it's been like an hour since I had a shot. That looking up and pretending to do the math, that had probably been 5 minutes. It's that whole,
Exactly.
yeah, I think I only had 2 drinks. We know.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, and then of course, like he talks to Brittany, and he's complaining that she filed for divorce during rehab. And it's like, oh my gosh. And then he brings back up something that he talked about at the guys' day at his place, that, oh, you're all mad at me, and you're calling me names, and then the next day you're texting me about the flowers at the house and da da. And then she's like, I was showing that to you because I'm trying to like prove to you that I can handle this house, like, because you're saying that I can't handle this house. He's like, well, I'm trying to show you that it's not about like the actual physical house, it's that you can't pay for it. And she's like, well, you're the one who put me in this financial position because you couldn't pay your taxes and you couldn't pay for the house in the general. So I'm the one, actually, I know that I can pay for this. But also, second of all, I was like, Brittany, stop. Because you don't have to prove anything to him, and you will never be able to prove anything to him, because he will always come up. There's always a change in it. It's always like, well, I didn't mean about the house upkeep. I meant paying about the house. Well, I didn't mean about paying about the house. I meant about this about the house, or I meant about this, or like this about cruise, or blah, 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 blah. No, it's never. Stop trying to prove yourself to him. You'll never make it.
Yeah. He's just changing. He's just moving the goalposts and changing what he means. It's like, on one hand, she has far more money than him, but you can't do that. You can't afford the house without me. He's the one who put it into bankrupt or foreclosure. I mean, the whole, yeah.
He put his back taxes onto it. He's the one who put it into foreclosure. I mean, and then he, like we talked about earlier, like he admits that he will wait till the last day to drag it out, to talk to a lawyer. And then I like though that then she calls out how greasy he is.
That.
And she admits finally that she had her blinders on. I think that, to me, that's the first time, at least I recall hearing her say that she had blinders on.
I thought last week, maybe it wasn't them, but I remember you saying when someone's done, when a woman is done. And when she was saying this, I was thinking of what you said last week. She was like, I'm just looking at his face. His pores are greasy. His cheeks are greasy. His veins are popping. So I'm finally noticing how disgusting he is.
It's because last week when she said you're gross, and I was like, there it is.
That.
And this was a doubling down, because this is basically her saying again that he's gross. That she's just like, oh, like, you're greasy. This is all this, like, there's no coming back. So anybody who says she'll go back to him, I go, no, she won't. She's done now. Before, absolutely. Like, I saw her going back to him, like, even after, like, I hoped that she wouldn't, but I could totally see. But now that she's like, he's gross, he's greasy, like, I had my blinders up. Once you admit that, once you see that in yourself, you're like, oh, I can't. I can't.
Yeah.
No. But yeah, I mean,
you know what's funny here? They cut to Nia at the bar, This is for Nia and Janet. Okay, guys. Nia orders a virgin Moscow Mule, which is ginger ale. Am I correct?
And lime juice.
Oh,
It would be lime juice. Actually, okay, so a Moscow Mule is vodka, simple syrup, lime juice, and then ginger beer or ginger ale, but should be ginger beer. So probably they just put lime juice and maybe a little bit of simple syrup to make it sweeter, though, too, and then ginger beer.
I was picturing like going into a restaurant and being like, I'll have a virgin screwdriver. Wink, like.
Oh, I've gotten that before.
Really?
I was like, oh, okay. Oh, yeah.
That's
People
like
have
a
said like
cheesy dad joke. I was like,
it is a cheesy dad joke, but yeah. But they're
a
like, I'll just have
mimosa,
that.
a virgin mimosa. I was like, yeah, but she's like a virgin Moscow. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Usually I just would ask for like a ginger beer. I'll be like, I'll just have a ginger beer in a glass. But yeah.
And then, of course, Janet comes over to apologize.
Again.
Yeah. Nia, I love, we're going to get into it shortly because I love Nia. She really, but I just like when she's like, I just need a little space, and then cut to the confessional. She's like, I don't need space. I just never want to talk to her.
I'm so with that.
Yeah.
I'm so with that. You could just see like kind of like Brittany being done with Jax. You're like, Nia's just done with Janet. She's
and you know,
I see you.
Yeah, and you know, Janet, that apology, the energy wasn't there. It was totally like, this is the final scene. I need to do a little damage control, sprinkle some kindness.
Mm-hmm.
Nia might be a Disney princess, but she's from the streets.
Yeah.
I just mean she's tougher than you realize. Mm-hmm. She's not stupid. And so I like that she didn't even entertain discussing emotions or anything with Janet. She was just like, yeah.
I think Nia's a woman who like picks her time and place. I mean, there's something I like Nia a lot. There is something still about Nia. I'm like trying, not that I dislike her or anything like that. I'm trying to like get to know, because I do understand what some people are like, oh, her and Danny trying to come off perfect, but she's a pageant girl. Mm-hmm. And so there is that like pageant veneer, and they are kind of like the Christian couple, and like he's the ex-Disney, actor and stuff like this. So there is a little bit of that like trying to be perfectness that I think you can't necessarily have on reality television. And I think it seems like they are, to me, are trying to work through within their marriage of like, hey, we gotta like I see what Jax is saying of like, they're trying to be perfect, but he's being mean about it and just like, we got to take him down, as opposed to like, hey, you guys are not going to be able to hide all this stuff or like whatever bad is going on in your relationship.
Wait, just since we're here, and this, I should just, because this minute ago, I was like, I'll tell you guys why I love Nia. When they get to that conversation and Jax is confronting Danny, and I see Nia out of the corner of my eye. She's watching with a squint, like, what's this guy saying? Mm-hmm. And she looks and she folds her arms and walks up. I was like, get him, mama. Oh, that was a look. She was like, and you know what it reminded me of? It kept playing in my head and playing. I was really proud of her. I was like, that's what I was like, Nia's not as dainty as you think, but she does it with a lot of grace. But like, she didn't throw a drink at him, but I realized why I kept replaying that and why I enjoyed the energy. All I could hear was, let's talk about the bar, Jax. Let's talk about what you don't want out there.
See, that's the thing. I feel like sometimes, like she is that energy, and I feel like sometimes she tries to hold it back because she's afraid of like maybe her own strength, or like she's afraid she might come off like Janet or might come off like Kristen. And I don't think she will. I think she can hold her own and she can be her own. And she's allowed to be angry. She's allowed to be upset about these things. And so I think that that's something that I'm excited to see her work through, if that makes sense. because
she confronted Jax very
She did.
well, very
Yeah.
well. I was like watching her because first you're just like, oh, she's out, and then it's like, leave my man, you keep my man's name out of your mouth, Mister. Like she was good. I like.
Well, I mean, it's interesting too because Jax tries to. Let's just get into it.
Mhm.
Let's just get into this because first of all, Jax is talking about Danny, quote unquote, behind his back. Like he's talking to Jason, and I think Luke, or maybe it's Brock, and he starts comparing Danny to Jeffrey Dahmer and Ted Bundy, and it was like, what? Like they're all like, what? And they can hear him from the side. And it's like, excuse me, and he's like, oh, and doing that whole thing like we were talking about earlier, like, oh well, he doesn't have a drink in his hand. Is he drinking now? It's all for show. It's like, bitch, you just came out of rehab. Like, and you're drinking. You're all for show. You're all like lying. Oh, he's talking to Jesse, and Jesse says to him, well, you should go say this to him and not to me. And I do appreciate Jesse for saying that. Like, don't say this to me. Stop talking about him behind his back. Just go say it to him. Like, if you want to go expose Danny. So then Jax goes up to Danny in a very antagonistic way. That whole thing of like, how are you doing? What's going on? I see you're not drinking.
Yeah.
It's so annoying. But Danny's immediately like calling him out, like, you're not inviting me to events. And he's like, you're a terrible drunk. And then he's like, you don't have a leg to stand on. And he's like, I'm not a terrible drunk. I have anger issues. Yeah. And this is what I say again, as a former bartender, men with anger issues are terrible drunks. They cannot hold their liquor because they get one sip of liquor in them and they are angry about something. Yeah. Does not matter. The light is shining in their eyes. Their ring is too tight all of a sudden because they're swelling up because of the alcohol. It does not fucking matter. Yeah. Like, doesn't matter. They are just angry people.
And he's also mixed it with uppers, yeah, which really
legal or illegal
amps up. And not that I would ever know, but ever know, but let's just say also on top of that, the come down from you mix it the next morning, mix a hangover with, okay, first of all, in the moment, mixing those two, you look like Jax. And then the morning after, it's even worse. So just a warning. Yep. In case you guys are thinking about taking on some new hobbies, that's not one of them.
Please don't take on that hobby. Yeah. Please don't.
Oh.
But this is when Jax then, like, we see Nia watching from the sidelines. And Danny calls him out for hijacking the conversation. I call it hijaxing the conversation. But then he like tries to drag Nia into it, saying like, you've had to pick up Danny multiple times from my bar. And then she's like, I almost hit you with my car because you were stumbling out in the road drunk. And he's like, no. And I was like, of course you would not remember that because you were too drunk and like went out of your mind. And then, but also, I think this is when Danny says in the confessional that Jax has been sleeping with staff members of his bar.
Yes.
And I was like,
and this is where they break the fourth wall. Nia, in her struggle, was she going to go all out? She's like, Danny, there's a camera right there. And Danny's like, there are cameras everywhere. Let's talk about it.
Let's talk about the husband. Let's talk about the husband. Yep. Yeah, exactly. I do appreciate, like, Kristen tried to break it up in a way that wasn't like, was just like, and she was like calling out Jax, like, and just saying this is a mirror. He's projecting. Like, this is everything he's saying is like what he sees in the mirror. And I was like, oh, this is true.
Yeah.
That's when I say Kristen is a good friend, because I do think that she's trying to be a good friend to Jax and be supportive because she's been there with him for so long and through so much with him, but she sees who he is. She knows who he is. That makes sense. Like, anyway, like, it's funny because also, like, Brock repeats it. I also see Jared in the background with Brittany. Jared was at that party.
He has been, every time they even show flashbacks, they keep mentioning this Jared. And I'm like,
yeah,
it's like a mystery figure.
I just want to say, Jared, the bolo tie was a bold choice. Not a correct choice, in my opinion. Just a bold one, like in 2025. Anyway.
What? The kind of like ending was really funny to me. In a way, it made me think of like the producers are treating them almost as like children, where they're like, okay, Danny and Jax got their moment. Now they break it into 4 screens where everyone else is trying to wrap up their season with a fight for camera time.
I mean, I felt like maybe this should have been like a 2-parter, or maybe it should have been an 1.5-hour episode. I was like, I kind of wanted to hear more about like, you know, like Scheana confronts Kristen about Jenna and Janet. Like there was some more about that. And I was like,
yeah,
I was like, Scheana, let's talk about your husband now. Come on.
Yeah. That's why, like, when that came on earlier, when I was like, I'd welcome Scheana more, but I was like, I'm not a fan of hers. When I start hearing her voice, I'm like, you know, she was watching Danny and Jax and panicking because it's always about Scheana. She just, I'm like, I wanted to be like in Mean Girls, you don't even go here. Like, how are you bursting out in a feud?
Yep. Well, like, I don't think like Janet and Kristen fighting and then Jason getting involved in it. It's funny because Jasmine was like, just let the girls like talk it. Even Michelle was like, just let them talk about it. And like Jason's getting into it. I don't think that they can come back from this, Janet and Kristen. Not that like I necessarily want them to, but Janet doesn't want to. Janet wants to keep this fight alive because Kristen has apologized several times. And each time Janet brings up whatever it was before, throws it back in her face, and then like doubles down on it. And then also she knows Kristen well enough. She knows that like if you go after her friends, that Kristen's going to come after you. So like, and Janet knows exactly what she's doing.
And that's the other thing with Janet, when she apologizes for whatever, you have to understand, like when she apologized to Nia, I had a few too many drinks that night after. And then no one took that seriously. Kristen running off the boat saying, I want to punch you, you whore, or whatever. And Janet's like cowering. I was going to be beaten and put on the streets as a prostitute. Like everything is literal. She cannot let it go. You have to understand her. She will not understand you.
Well, I want to go, really, you were so hurt because just a couple of days ago, you were at Lala saying, I wish she had punched me, because if she had punched me, I would have enjoyed seeing her sitting. That doesn't sound to me like somebody who was like emotionally really hurt or scared, like for that. Because
that's where Janet probably, a reason maybe deep down she knows she can't let that go with Kristen. It's because she has nothing else to offer in her life. She doesn't really show her private life. She's clearly not a likable personality. Her marriage is boring. All she has is fighting with others. Feeding off of others. She's a caterpillar. Kristen is a butterfly.
Don't come after caterpillars that
cockroach
way. Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, but you know what I mean. Like she can't carry. She has to. So without a feud, she's back to fan it. So
she is back to fan it. Well, I think also like these last few episodes / this season, we've seen now like whatever we thought of Jason last season, he enjoys being contrarian. He and Janet were made for each other. This is when I go, no, now we see kind of who you are. Like you're not who I thought you were, Jason. Like I was wrong about you. Like
I kind of wondered if he was drunk in that scene. Maybe.
Me too. Like they were both drinking. Oh, that was another thing. Janet was like, I'm not going to drink tonight when they were doing the get ready at Sheena's part. I'm not going to drink tonight. And then she was like, and then they bring out this really big large glass of rosé. She's like, this is my one drink tonight. Oh, Janet, I thought you weren't drinking. What's happening? You're drinking now?
Danny's doing a lot better than you with his sobriety journey for the night, Janet.
I mean, oh. Well, and then Zach, but Zach was really drunk. Zach was very drunk. I love Zach, but honey, you were that drunk, emotional guy. When he was like, but when Janet and Jason are leaving and he's like, bye, whore. And I was like, oh, no, you didn't. No, you didn't. But then they did not have to turn around and come back, but they did. And I go, that's where you entertained it. That's when you decided to be contrarian, because you could have just kept walking and it would just leave. Yes, you're leaving him with the camera time, but then it's the whole thing of like, you let him look bad doing that. But now you have to come back and you actually antagonize him more and you make it look worse. That's my opinion.
Yeah. And with the other thing I've noticed with that is the pattern of who Jason stands up to. He gets involved with women. He was willing to step to Zach and Benji, but Jax, Jax could punch Janet in the face and it'll be like, high five, buddy. Want a beer? He will not step to. Yeah.
He won't step up to Danny because Danny is
Yeah.
smaller than him, I guess. Like, I guess if you're a woman, if you're a gay man or you're a short man, he will not.
Yeah, he has a Jax crush, I guess.
He does.
I mean, because I was doing the math on everyone, because it's kind of out of character for him to get confrontational, but he's only confrontational with those he can feel tougher than. He's clearly like has a man crush on Jax. Bromance, whatever.
Yeah.
Fear.
Oh man. When Zach confronts Brittany about Janet, that seemed to come out of nowhere. I don't know if there was like an editing thing missing or if that was just because he was so drunk. He just kind of started taking up for Chris. See? And I was like, oh God. I was like, this is not. I get it. I kind of get how you're feeling, but this is not. No, stop.
It really, like, his argument was valid. He's like, you're not there for me. I need your support. Look at the way you support Janet. You don't do that for me. But it literally just out of nowhere, it was like everyone was trying to get their last fight in, because obviously it sets the tone for their next season. Just out of nowhere, it's like, okay, they're leaving. And Brittany.
I wonder, I just thought about this because we saw Jared standing in the back, like with Brittany, and Jared and Zach don't get along. I wonder if maybe that set him off even more. It was like, oh my gosh, Janet's little minion, Jared, is back there kikiing it with Brittany. Like, how dare Brittany, like in his basically drunk mind. Do you know what I mean? Because everything gets bigger. It's like, now she's best friends with Jared, and where am I now in this situation? Like, nobody, like that whole thing.
Yeah.
Wow.
I like how basically Jax and Danny were the big, and then we have like 5 minutes left in the show, and editors are just like, okay, it's just a split screen, whatever. Now I don't know. Cut to Zach. Boom. Bye,
I guarantee you, the directors, producers of the show were like, okay, this is a great cut, but we need to focus more on these storylines, get rid of that, but we still want to somehow get that in. And the editors were like, what the fuck are you talking about? How the fuck do I fit in these 4 other how do I wrap up these 4 other storylines? And then somebody was like, this is what we do. We just do this 4 like thing. And they were like, you're a genius.
Yeah.
Because that's what you have to do as an editor. You actually work with the less you have to work with, the more creative you actually get. Actually, that's the way it is with life in general.
Necessity.
The less you have to work with.
What is it? Necessity is the mother of invention. Did I say that right?
That is correct.
Yeah.
You said it exactly correct. Yeah. In fact, that's what I was thinking, but I couldn't get it. You wrapped it up. There we go.
Also, one last thing about that is the end of this. If it was me, like writing an essay in school, like a 10-page paper, by the time I get to the easiest part, the wrap up, I'm losing it. I haven't written a page. Conclusion. I am
It's
just
late.
saying words. I'm just saying words. I'm burnt out. I think the
Mhm.
editors were like, I don't know. Feast.
Yep.
Here, piggies. Enjoy all the fights. Anyway.
Yep.
And
Yep.
on that note, speaking of wrapping things up,
Mhm.
you know, I'm dead inside. I'm dead inside.
We are
like
dead
the
inside.
editors. But
If you would like to help keep us alive.
yeah, if you'd like to bring us back to life, that's true. If you want to bring us back to life, there's only one way to do it. We subscribes to our oxygen, follows our water.
Yep. Comments are our food.
Yeah.
Nourish us.
We're
with
like
love,
little, we're like,
please.
was it Gremlins? Don't feed after midnight. Feed us 24/7.
Feed us. Feed us. We're like Pac-Mans.
Yeah.
Like just always hungry. Hungry hippos.
And I feel like I'm saying goodbye to the season, goodbye to the show. Next week, part 1
Reunion.
of the 3-part Valley reunion.
And also don't forget to tune in for Orange County because we're covering Orange County as well. And those episodes come out on Monday. So yeah, so we've got Orange County, we're wrapping up the Valley, and the reunion looks messy from what previews we have seen. So I'm excited for that. For sure.
On that note, let's go enjoy a virgin Moscow meal.
I'll just have some more water with lemon. Thank you very much.